Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I'm excited to do this read today. It's probably the best read I've ever seen since I've been doing these reads. It was unbelievable how many cards were in their positive energy, and I'm going to get to that in just one second. Let me just do a little clearing. So it is February 1st. The energies have changed. I actually did 2 reads for you guys yesterday, and I was going to present them, but there's no real point to presenting them. There's some information I wanted to give to you, but the read today was just so wow that I didn't want to distort that energy. Yesterday, just some of the energies that did come up, we had 777s, and then the second read were 4 9s came up, which is, you know, completing the cycle in all elements. And also the King of Swords was coming up in the first read yesterday. Also the Mother's Fidelity, the Sophia energy, and the Root was coming up, revolving around Ra. And Ra actually ended about the time Christianity came into play. So a lot about Ra came up, and just me investigating that. And the 3 daughters of Ra were Bastet, Sekhmet, and Hathor. And Sekhmet and Hathor really were kind of 2 sides of the same coin. And I think all 3 sisters were probably one energy that had 3 different personalities, because that's just the way it came off to me energetically. And the way Ra was explained. And then, so I was going back to the code line for that, revolving around domestic harmony and love partnership, and the King of Swords, and the Mother energy here, mastering their thoughts and words, right, with the feminine within the masculine, being the Chariot energy of ascension, that you need that balance. The Mother always being right energy was coming up. The flame and field ionization, and for me ion is connection, right, because it's like the electrons connecting or needing to connect, right, that magnetization. So with the ionization of the flame and the field coming up, and the Mother always being right, and here we have the King of Swords needing to bring the feminine energy within and master their thoughts and words. The capital R for me for Ra also comes up for me as pi in connection. So pi is the circle with the line through it, centered and balanced, but it's not dancing yet. The ion is what makes it start dancing. The connection is what takes it from the pi, the circle with the line through the middle, to the 8 in the dance between the masculine and feminine. So since pi and the ion were coming up, pion came up, and pion is any of 3 Masons, or I'm not sure how it's pronounced. It's a mathematical title. But Masons, pion, they're semi-stable with positive, neutral, and negative electric charges. But it has a spin, which equals the 0, which equals the pion equals a pawn or a footman, someone who's easily manipulated or something. The pioneer comes up under that energy as well. And then the flower, the peony, as well as Fiona came up, because that's the definition for Phi, which came up in the coding. And by the way, my mail came up 18444 yesterday. And so this meson or meson subatomic particle is a hadron of the quark or anti-quark, which are all mathematical titles, so I'm probably not saying them properly, but that's okay. But they're carriers of nuclear force. And nuclear was coming up as new and clear, nuclear force. So the meson, or the meson, equals the pion and the kaon, and the quarks, which is funny, just the way they come up and the way Spirit brings these things to me. They're subject to strong force and have 0 or an integer or a whole number, which is also represented by Z, a whole number of quantum units of spin. So it was going back to my safety pin example of how the feminine collects energy from the sun and brings it into the masculine. and that pi connection. So going back to that code again, the mother and the flame and the field and the connection there, the mother's connection to the flame and their field of the Sophia and the Eve, which is the mother and the daughter, is referencing the pion equaling to 0 point. Okay, so MESON is the name, which breaks down to pi, ka, and quanta. That is the, where am I getting that from? I was breaking down, they were guiding me to different words to break down. So I had to break down pion, which means pawn, or pawn of the Sphinx, the paw of the Sphinx I was getting, which again is Akashic Records. The centered human is pi, and then Zion with Z being the integer, and then ion is the connection, right? The whole number, and the connection to the whole number, which is 0 point, and 0 being the Z of the whole number, plus the urgency of the human, the 0. So urgent mastery or urgent support. And then Zion comes up along with the whole connection, and everyone being all beings. And Zionists were coming up here as well. So referencing to the code line was pi, which is the centered human, ka, which is energy, and then the quanta, which is something you can't measure. Whole numbers of quanta units of spin regarding 0 point and the pi connection. No unit of measure, the 0 point, which is, it's just referencing 0 point literally as human mastery. Me, sun, so MESON, and breaks up as me and the sun, spelled differently, the SUN and the Ra, because Ra is the sun. The centered energy field, or no measure of gravity. The mother and daughter after death test to carry him home. So tell me what you get from that if you have anything to add, but it definitely can be expanded. So that was some of the stuff from the first read, definitely with Ra and Sekhmet coming up there. And then from the second read, we had the 4 nines in the read, revolving around synchronicity, change, and pride, and seeing in the Sophia, or the collective divine feminine, the piece of the hermit he, right? So the masculine as the hermit, because they can both be hermits, so it's identifying him as being the hermit today. And this was last night around 8 o'clock. And the challenge in that read was the 6 of orbs. Orbs are finding peace, the 6 of swords. So let's get right into this read today, because it was just amazingly beautiful. Today, and it's 8/21, which is strength and the world, completion. Today's February 1st, 2020, so we have the 1 of the magician, and the day adds up to 7 of the chariot. So very forceful energy between the magician and the chariot of ascension, right? The chariot is the masculine and the feminine together ascending in their magician embodiment. That's the energy today. And it is Saturday. The SIRIAN Starseed deck is the main deck for this read, was cut and dealt at 846, which is strength. It's also the 8 of the dance of your masculine and feminine within. And 46 is the children in the garden, the 6 of cups. That beautiful energy of the inner twins, the inner children. So when I cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck here today, right after that, when I started clarifying it, 850 to 51, which is the 10 of cups going into the King of Swords, emotional fulfillment for the King of Swords, I was getting go, speed racer, go. And also the God and Jesus energy coming up to chronicle this. At 9:04, which is the Hermit and the Emperor. The lovers were in the center of the read today. And along with the clarifiers on that card, I was getting, it's a new dawn, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, right? It's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. And that was very much the message today. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. And I really wanted to find a picture. My son used to have a radio show at a radio station And I forget the name. The name was something like A New Dawn, A New Day. It was right in line with this, and I wanted to find that picture of his. It was him and the other broadcasters from that station. It was just very, very small, but because of the title of that, I wanted to use that to post. We finished the read here at 9:14, which is the Hermit and the Temperance energy. So the Hermit of the going within, in your wisdom, and the 14 of the Temperance and being patience and being the patient angel. The major arcana from this read today, and I'm telling you guys, I was so blown away by the cards in this read, because I have 7 decks in this read, right? We have the Rider-Waite Mini, we have the Tarot Sexual Magic, the Numerology deck, the Romance Angels, as well as the Tarot Sexual Magic, the Gilded Tarot, and the Universal Golden Tarot, in addition to the SIRIAN Starseed deck. So not only were the Lovers in the middle of the read, and the Two of Cups in the read, but also the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Cups both in the read, and the Magician, and the Knight of Wands, which all of them, by the way, were upright, and the Seeker of Crystals, which in the SIRIAN Starseed deck is very much the one discovering their abilities, and the Two of Flames. It was just unbelievable. And then the 2 cards that came out after the read were the Star and the Wheel of Fortune, which is unbelievable. It's Magician Embodiment, and then the Star, and then the Destiny card, and they're all upright. All aces were upright. It was just incredible. So we have the Transition card was the only major arcana before the read. Then we have the Lovers and Indigo within the read. So the main energy for the read was Lovers and Indigo, which is the Gemini and Virgo energies. Aries can come up for me for Indigo as well. And then before the read was Transition, which is Scorpio, and then after the read, the Star and the Wheel, which is Aquarius and Libra for me. We have 2 Wands, 3 Cups, 2 Swords, and 2 Pentacles, so perfectly distributed, with the 3 being the Cups of emotion and heart, which it's rare that Cups is the one with the most energy in the masculine's read. The Court cards, there were no Court cards before or after the read, but within the read was the King of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the Page of Swords. The numbers were, the numbers on the code line were 22, which was the most significant number, which is the Fool, and the Tarot is all about the Fool's journey, so keep that in mind. And the numerology cards on the code line were all about spirituality and synchronicity, but some of the letters in the front of the words were covered, so it was literally coming up as spy and rituals, rituality, and sin and chronicities, or chronicling, you know. So spying and sinning were coming up here. Also, besides the 22, we had 33 come up, which is the Christ vibration, the 10 of the high vibration, and the 1 of the Magician embodiment. And that's all there was for the numbers. And on the code line, there were no numbers. Just the spirituality and synchronicity, which were breaking down into the spy and rituality, and the sin and the chronicity, or chronicling. For the masculine to take the high road times 2, or on 2 timelines, because take the high road came up twice here, the King of Pentacles mastering the crystalline energy and spreading the word of Jesus. Go, Speed Racer, go. So that was very cool. And this is not about Christianity when we talk about Jesus. We're talking about Jesus, who was a human, just like the twins, who had his twin on earth and was a master of magician embodiment. Okay? So this is not about Christianity. We're about unity consciousness here. Yes, rituals and chronicling can be irritating, which also is coming up here. But the triggers, to remember, are there to clear the bullet from the chamber. Okay, so remember that about the word trigger. The triggers are there to clear the bullet from the chamber, right? To clean it all out, to blast everything out of the chamber, like dodging a bullet. Also, bilateral hip replacements were coming up for the King of Pentacles or somebody around him. A message, a word, or a child is up to bat for the Elohim, Jesus, and God. So again, this is not about Christianity. Jesus just happens to be the leader on this twin flame journey for the twin flames. Coming in to be angels on earth, to transmute and be leaders of the energy going into the new world of heaven on earth, the 5D. So, spying and rituality, sinning and chronicity, or chronic things. And then city was coming up for both of them because they both end in the ITY. So citing it at the Y in the road. So literally IT is it and Y is the Y in the road. Citing it at the Y in the road, which is the city, right? The city is the Y. Like, where do cities lie? They lie right where multiple roads come together. It's the hub. The junction at the Y in the road is the city where all the roads meet for spying and sinning. So got to the Y in the road and decided to camp out. That's what a city is. But they got stuck there because they were dazed and confused, right? With all the energies of so many people crowded together. Man with money who articulates well, bypassing Jesus and Adam and Eve, God, whomever is love, to spy ritually and sin chronically instead of spreading the word, love. And then I was getting pack and go. So there were some headers here, nothing of major significance. Most of them were about crystals, master hunters seeking crystal in the world of warcraft. So war and hunters coming up there. So some energy of that nature coming up here. Mystical crystal orbs from the Crystal Enchantress. Master crystals and what they are. The perfected crystal form, and that's from soulfulcrystals.co.uk. The master crystals, twisted tree. Quartz, master crystal and master healer, that's from the wellnessuniverse.com. Resin crystals, orbs, and more from 12/3/17 was from meanings, crystalsandjewelry.com. Then GW2 Sky Crystal Seeker Achievement Guide came up from dulfy.net, May 21st, 2014. And underneath that header was Sky Crystal number 9, and I'm losing my voice a little bit. And GW was just coming up as George Washington. GW2 Sky Crystal Seeker Achievement Guide. The Sky Crystal number 9, go back to the lightning aspect area. This time, recharge your lightning aspect and use it to navigate to the platforms next to the cliffs to the left of you, right? To the just left of the middle. Save the path. It's the same path as the Grabby Master Sky, which is crystal number 5. There is a sky crystal near the air aspect. Recharge. Sky crystal number 10. So the numbers coming up here with 9, 10 begin again, and then the number 5, which is that expansion energy, the middle of the road, which can reference the Y in the road as well. But also the recharge aspect of my safety pin, where the feminine's called to recharge in the sun to bring more energy to go through to the masculine and back, to create the vacuum, to pull in the pin. And so the masculine uses up that energy, and when it's used up, the pin then opens again for the feminine to go back and collect more sun. So what are the 5 master stones also came up. The master, this other heading came up, the master, which was defining the female master as Missy or Mistress, was a renegade Time Lord, serving as both friend and opponent of the Doctor. The master's lust for power would eventually pull the two apart, while the Doctor and Master would still remain close friends and rivals. The Master had an intense hatred and often sought to kill the Doctor. So this was very interesting energy, right? Because why would you stay friendly with someone who actually wants to kill you? Because they had such animosity towards you. Also then orange calcite came up as far as energies to release old hurts. And peridot is coming up right under that as well. All right, so let's get into this read. We have the Two of Flames as the first card. The Two of Flames was one of the only cards that was reversed in the main cards here. But that was fine. The Two of Flames is here. Then we have the Three of Cups here, Three of Pentacles or crystals here, and then the transition card or the death portal there. All right. So we had the Death card upright for the past couple days, but today it was reversed because it's just after the fact. It's not anything negative. But again, the major arcana were referencing the energies of Gemini and Virgo, but also Scorpio, Aquarius, and Libra, possible Aries with the Magician there. So with the Two of Flames and no options after coming together socially and at work, taking forever to end despite going away party that may have already happened, joy and co-creation. Now that the masculine has stepped through the portal, the path has been chosen. Now it's just about implementation. The Ten of Cups family, or end of a cycle, offers big money, gold coin, or a new life to the one who is defensive to it, or may be thinking it's a joke and they're not for real, or offering a payoff to end the war. Dumped emotional attachment that no longer serves, getting over loss and regret, leaving the double Y in the road. So double wide was coming up as well, and then W2 was coming up. Not World War II, but actually just two Y's next to each other literally becomes W over two ones, which is W2, which I was getting not World War II, but world number 2, which is referencing heaven on earth, the new world, right? It's a new dawn. It's a new life for me, right? The new world. Getting over the suffering and silence for good news, success, leading the way on the journey, the patient angel, home, and union. Journey through angelic realms into union. And remember, union breaks up into un and ion because it's a closed unit. Others must pay to get in or to see the show. The two-headed human in the traveling circus. And then the bodyguard, the movie was coming up, but the bodyguard's definitely coming up as the masculine having a bodyguard on a quest for surrender to fall willingly, which is what a bodyguard does. The Hierophant reversed in spirituality, outside the box, alternative, choice, or free will. And then the Aries reversed and Taurus reversed come up here, which literally can be referenced as the masculine's bodyguards here. Bodyguards to the emperor, willing to take the fall for the emperor. And kids or twins are coming up here. To process difficult energies while living around others. Successfully navigate and get over the 4D rainbow bridge. Sliding down the banister at the end. Sliding into home base. Walking away from 9-1, which is like the 8 of Cups in the difficult energies, to 4 + 2 of the 6 of Cups, because the 5 + 3, or the 8 of the 8 of Cups, was too much conflict, right? Couldn't navigate that energy. So instead of 9-1, which equals 8, or 5 + 3, which are those odd numbers, the 4 of the union plus the 2 of the flames, with room to add 2 if needed later. 4 is coming up as the home base instead of 5, which can throw things off, or if you want, or there's 2 stories, but 1 is just fine. So it's like, get to the point. You don't need so many stories. The split level is not good because of feng shui. Balanced with natural flow, with a stable bottom of the 4 on the bottom instead of the 5, you can add later if you want a second level, which would be 4 + 4, which is the mastery. The divine masculine could be struggling to clear while they're raising kids with the energy around them, and there could be other parents involved as well, or relatives. No option but to process in difficult energies of the 3D. The 3 of Cups is out. Joy, all for one and one for all. The 3 Musketeers with room for one more, which is D'Artagnan, the 4th. Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. When he first meets them, we're talking about D'Artagnan here, when he first meets the 3 Musketeers, they end up dueling. The Cardinal's guards arrived to break them up, so literally the bodyguards, and this was totally separate from what I was getting in the cards prior to this, so it was very cool that that came right up. And the confirmations about the 3 Musketeers were coming from funtrivia.com. And then at 10:28, which is a turn for the better, and the twins of the 2 of Wands, the train horn blew 4 times. Hip hip hooray, sharing or settling out, the Knight of Pentacles with the gold coin on his way to magically manifest with all of his tools on board. 6 gold coins for 6 cups, 3 + 3, The blockhead without firm balls. This is supposed to be funny. It's like the master talking about himself, not someone talking about him. The blockhead without firm balls, but loyal, humble, kind, dark horse always comes up from behind. He is underestimated. Now with all his tools on the table, a garden of roses and lilies, sweet but not too sweet, pure and passionate, and cotton candy machine, the Mary Magdalene Buttercup Yellow and Sky Blue Magnet, both using healing hands and DNA strand. And that was at 10:33 to 34, which is the Christ vibration going into that 8 of Wands, which, by the way, is upright today as well. The DNA, which comes up as duh, N-A, right? DNA, duh, N-A, it's void. David or divine director, Jesus and Adam. D'Artagnan the stabilizer. With him, the 3 are not applicable. They're not stable. The odd must eventually be balanced, right? So an odd number can't stay an odd number because it forces balance. The universe must correct the balance. So whenever you're dealing with odd numbers, it's always temporary. You can't sustain an odd number forever. 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. And that was coming up there. So the Queen of Swords is up right here on the journey destined for emotional fulfillment and happy family and co-creation. And this here involved all 4 elements. The Queen of Swords was the swords, the 6 of Wands was the wands, the wheel was there upright, and then the 10 of Cups was the cups, and the 3 of Pentacles. They were all upright. Really amazing energy of big love. The Queen of Swords reflecting and putting it out there, being an example of shining your authentic light. It requires no additives. Just emotional fulfillment, happiness, love of a lifetime, and bliss. The grocery store for fruit and perhaps some new cushions for the patio or deck. But most of all, the one you love the most, besides you, of course, thanking him for helping out in the kitchen, one female focusing on expressing, one maybe sulking. Have compassion and give them time alone to grieve without pulling down your energy. The Divine Masculine may have been taken advantage by women in the past, not wanting to hurt others' feelings. Don't lie to others to get them to feel better. It is not serving them. So then change comes up, which is number 5, and relationship change underneath that, which is 56, which was very interesting. These are the underlying numerology cards were 5 and 56, and then the cards that came out from the numerology deck were I think it's 7. What is that one? Yeah, it was 77 and 87. So both combinations were like one number off. Like we had 5 and then 56, so the 5 is contained in 1, and then 77 and 87. So there was some kind of pattern there. The 4 of Wands may hold bad memories of injustices, or kids may feel that it's unfair that they must go between 2 homes of the 4 of Wands and the 10 of Cups. The Devil or Capricorn, or horny cowboy with red eyes, or Italian from Dallas, or star who just came in or flew out on the red eye. Twisted sister or twisted pillar with hooks in you, or twin sisters with red eye of the storm, door to Wizard of Oz. Questionable man at the door. Should I let him in? A fast-paced energy, travel, and communication between the Devil and the Fool, or the Capricorn and the Aries, the sexy man and the one who's free to leap and travel, if needed, and comes well prepared, well stocked. 2 on the Lamb, shepherds in drag or costume, performers, protecting the herd or flock, or overheard something maybe you were not supposed to know, accidentally, or perhaps a plan to erase one of the sheep, or all of them perhaps. Lots of fireworks high in the sky, miners versus Indians, shamans versus future Niners. The Devil in the Jester's Court, Miami, I am that I am. Digging for gold is the 49ers versus digging for gold coin is the Chiefs. 49ers have fire, but the Chiefs have the heat. The 4 of Wands with injustice and 10 of Cups with unhappy memories. using home fires, burning to advantage. Wands versus cups, desires versus collection of emotions. 1111 came up right there. And that has to do, if you're not aware, of the Super Bowl coming up tomorrow. So that came up at 1111. And referencing the 49ers as the ones going after gold, right? Because they're digging for gold. But the chiefs are the Indians, the shamans, who are digging for the gold coin, the unity consciousness. So that was very interesting. We turned the page to 1114 of Justice and the Patient Angels. The heat is on. I am that I am. Miami Heat. The fool is free to leap, be silly, even ridiculous. I am that I am, without options. My path is already drawn out before me. If I allow it to take me there, I'm gonna take you there. So then Madonna comes up just like a prayer, just like a dream. You are not what you seem. Working through the difficult emotions, it's gonna take you there, and I'm getting connection. It's gonna take you there. Don't fight them, allow them. But the big love is there to manifest change. The fool becomes the magician as they jump into each other's arms as one. At the Delta Dawn, the triangle, the pyramids. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. In the recent past is the Knight of Cups, upright, holding back announcements of starting over in love, defenseless to the energies and attacks, but no longer needing to defend themselves, just being love, just love to be. Implementing a plan to surrender to the devil or Capricorn man, the King of Pentacles reversed to connect as twin lovers here. The foundation is the Page of Pentacles, the opportunity, the invitation, the student or earth child with a lot of responsibilities, not watching where they were going and tripped up or fell over when the messenger of truth came rushing in with some truth, claiming their high vibe energy for their own. Lovers taking forever to get it together, breaking patterns, never nearing the end, with message of love, new love, puppy love, or child riding in with that messenger of truth. Lovers burdened, Atlas. And then Atlas is coming up again as, at last, my love has come along. So that's coming up again too. A mountain out of so lovers burdened with Atlas, right, the weight of the world upon their shoulders, a mountain out of the molehill, and then the uvula was coming up connected to the vulva. The two keys, as I always say, the divine masculine's mouth, or the uvula, and the divine feminine's vagina, the vulva, both entryways of the vibrational resonance to make and create sound and to make and create life, the music of the spheres, the planets and the space between, the Page of Pentacles discovering their abilities, maybe a difficult chore as lovers weigh on them, knowing if they fall, never nearing the end, and then the cavalry enters, the kids to the rescue, the inner children with a message of a truth and message of love simultaneously. So they're rushing in with the truth and the message of love simultaneously as they like crash into each other, right? Like the song, Crashing Into You. So the truth and love come together simultaneously as the masculine uses his portal, his mouth, as they come together in physical union. And then comes the truth and the message of love simultaneously. The central energy here is the lovers, gladly tripping up and falling into another world of floating and bliss. The Fool and the Sealed Divine Feminine both have been around the block, offering love at Delta Dawn, divine directors, Michael and Metatron, the dogs of another world, to spin your world from yellow to orange, a new dawn to new day, up to bat to spread the word. Sharing with the Queen of Pentacles or settling out, the challenge being the King of Pentacles reversed may have lost some money and status, and offering a new life of performing in awakening as an illumined twin. And that was at 11:49 to 50, which is Justice and the 9 and 10 of Cups, getting your wish and complete emotional fulfillment. At 11:50, that emotional fulfillment, The Six of Cups, the kids or twins, or both. Released from prison, anxiety to work together and align with desires, or make a list of potential projects together. The Emperor is stuck, settling out, or without transportation perhaps. Issues with move or travel, and or ascension at the moment. Letting go to repair home in a divorce, or a break in contract, spiritually outside the box, or settling out with Taurus reversed. Or Aries with Cancer reversed, and the house is with Taurus reversed, home and or union with an ending to pain, no option but to be inspired to new passion after frustration with contract, arguments, fights, or conflict, arguments, fights, games, and competitions, or dealing with frustrated kids or frustrating kids. Impatient, out of control, Leo, ego, or Sagittarius, and the Queen of Wands ready to leap, dealing with difficult energies, living with combative energies in a painful ending or ending pain to find peace. Unhappy alone at the top, or with Aquarius, Taurus, or Aries at home, with new passion coming from the King of Cups or Cancer energy, with attention on journey and exposing it all, destined to use their abilities and spread the word. Destined with the Page of Pentacles and Page of Swords kids, or the twins' inner children. Unhappy or not satisfied in a painful betrayal, recovering from exile, abandonment, injury, illness. Two left out in the cold, together yet apart. For new love, new world, no need to defend, and no surprise about a major connection and keeping them at a distance, needing to align spines in order to make their magic. The sun exposing full energy, happiness, vacation, kids, weakness, ego, and or Leo out of control or ego death, recovering from unhappiness, unsatisfied, over-isolating, and now coming out to be love. An offer of love to the universe. Soon for the masculine here is the Ace of Cups, again, upright. A new love, self-love, spiritual love, all-encompassing love, expressing feelings and desires, an energetic exchange with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, could be dysfunctional family, business, or legacy, or could be a financial loss, or a family that just doesn't understand or resonate with the awakening process, no matter what perspective it is, light bulb moment, epiphany, or rising above, no sleep, and then coming out about it. They just don't get it. Separation, heartbreak, love, rain on me, and then the stars are out again, all of a sudden shining brightly. Like, so the back and forth energy that the twins go through that nobody else really gets why you would do that to yourself. And then the King of Swords reversed is falling into negativity again. So it's just saying you're coming out about it, excited about what you've learned, and then you go back into heartbreak, and then the stars are out shining again brightly, and then the King of Swords goes into negativity again. So it's like the dance between the masculine and feminine because you always feel each other. All right, so the Chariot may be down right now when you're not happy with yourself. And the Chariot has to do with ascending. So you're not ascending when you're not happy with self. You can't run the Chariot without someone else. It is a two-person vehicle. The masculine may have thought he could ride it alone and get all the credit, but humbled to know and find that he has no control, really. He is the Knight of Wands here. It's how he sees himself today, with his eye on the flame, getting passionately busy to present the truth and triumph, to give clarity to the Queen of Cups, focusing on love. And this was at 12:17, the Hangman and the Star. The Tower of sudden events and or epiphanies produces the Page of Pentacles, right? Learning their abilities with the gold coin. The Page of Pentacles now with their gold coin to present it. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory to make up for injustice and his bad behavior or attitude, or generally his exhaustion and defeatedness. So this is like a sudden event or epiphany where the masculine in his Page of Pentacles, which is in him allowing himself to be a student again, right? Because that's a humbling experience, right? When you're at the top of your game and then have to start over and be a student again. But learning your psychic abilities, and here is the gold coin that the masculine holds. And if you remember my my downloads about the masculine and feminine children being born, each with the gold coin, but also each with a different color. So the masculine gets the gold coin and the green, and the feminine gets the gold coin and the pink, right? The pink and green of the boy. You know, sometimes the boy is considered blue, but here it's green. So if they don't have the opposite sex parent, there becomes an issue imbalance there, because the feminine needs the green of her father and the masculine needs the pink of his mother to teach him that energy. And then when the mother gives birth, she gives away her gold coin, so she becomes the silver sword of Excalibur, because she gives that away to her child voluntarily, but then she needs to learn to love herself first again. So until she does that, she doesn't have a gold coin. So here is the masculine giving the feminine back her gold coin. He's presenting it to her. Just like Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory, right? Some machine just all of a sudden popping this coin out for you to make up for this very special coin, to make up for the injustice of his bad behavior or attitude, exhaustion, and just general defeatedness. So we turn the page. It's then 1220 to 1221. Forgiving and learning, soulmate, and let your friends help. A sudden realization of how poorly he's treated her because of how poorly he had been treated. Around him, or how he is seen, is the Two of Cups upright, with the Queen of Wands at work, with the King of Cups reversed, not using intuition, or the secret is out, and the Empress is reversed, in lack or being bossy at work, living in the past. The people involved at work, or the Divine Masculine's partners, that he must get along with, must see eye to eye, because he has to deal with them every day. The secret is out, but weighing on the Queen of Wands' head. The Empress reversed may be out sick or trying to control everyone there. And the King of Cups reversed, not wanting things to change, perhaps over-emotional, or 3-to-1 odds here, not in his favor. Perhaps the masculine wanted to leave or bring in someone new, or a conglomerate where they each have their own businesses. The masculine needs to clear blocks about the Page of Swords, that communication, getting the message out, sharing your light, your truth. So then the synchronicity and spirituality comes up again, because there's no reverse numerology cards today. So those are the energies, the sin and chronicity, and the spy and the rituality of synchronicity and spirituality was the significant energy for the masculine today. The romantic tie from the past, patient, with the King of Pentacles reversed, or looking back at the past, the King of Pentacles reversed, needing to be patient with self. And remember, healer, heal thyself. Indigo of the Queen of Swords sovereign and the Queen of Pentacles all in one, or 3 women with 3 children, or inner children, all with their individual lights to shine and be examples to other children, making their own magic. This is like the masculine all of a sudden realizing the worth of all these different people, even though they're completely different. You know, they have their individual strengths and weaknesses, and they can all be examples in their own right, making their own magic. Or 3 women and kids doing what they're doing in order to keep the twins apart, and that's no surprise. Or kids just destined to have more than one mother or father, and the King of Pentacles reversed, now feeling this, but not talking about it to partner and kids or any of the people at work. Indigo proposing to Dream Girl, to stardom, to heal and shine their light and be loved together, is destined, fatum. The Two of Wands without options, learning abilities, as the Knight of Wands is passionate to connect with the Knight of Cups as lovers, and challenged by the King of Pentacles reversed, who could have been someone who lost money and status, with new love, or could just be someone ungrounded as well, but with new love and spreading the word, ending pain and betrayal with a proposal by Indigo, the blue child, right? The sad child, healing with new crystalline body, destined to the stars, to channel the music of the spheres. Again, the Two of Wands, the 2 flames, the twin flames. Without options, the only path is the Knight of Cups, the Fool's Journey, the Tarot. Learning abilities of divine lovers, and challenged by that King of Pentacles reversed, in a painful ending or ending pain or pain practice, the Knight of Wands with new love, the Two of Cups soulmate, spreading light via word, proposing magic together, recording stars with love that's destined to be, When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace shall guide the planets, and love will steer the stars. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Aquarius. Okay? So there's some really amazing messages there. I don't know if I'll ever catch such perfect cards here. All my favorite cards for the twins were upright today. All 4 aces were upright. The 6 of Cups was upright. The Lovers was upright. The 2 of Cups was upright. The Magician was upright. The Queen of Cups was upright. The 3 of Pentacles was upright. And for me, that's a big co-creation card for the twins. The Star card was upright. The Wheel of Fortune was upright. The Knight of Swords was upright. The Knight of Pentacles was upright. The Knight of Wands was upright. The Knight of all 4 Knights were upright. And the 6 of Wands was upright. The 10 of Cups was upright. The 4 of Wands was upright. It just goes on. This read was just really unbelievable. And I want to show you the cards. You have to see these cards to believe it. I want to pull some oracle cards for you too. Let me show you the cards first though. All right, so you have the 2 of Flames there with the 3 of Cups, the 3 of Pentacles. It's called the Trinity in this deck, and then the Death card or the Transition card in this deck, the SIRIAN STARSEED deck. Okay, the recent past is the Knight of Cups upright with that tidal wave. The foundation here is the Seeker of Crystals with the Lover's card hiding under there. But I also want to show you his face so you understand the energy behind this card. See, he's very much learning his psychic abilities there. Then we have the Lovers in the middle. The challenge is the Master of Crystals. The other underlying energies there of the Fool and the different homes, okay? And then we have crowning here the 10 of Swords. As we scroll over here to the Ace of Cups upright. The masculine seeing himself as the Knight of Wands upright or Flames in this deck. Around him is the 2 of Cups upright. And the blocks he needs to clear has to do with the Page of Swords or Orbs upright. And we end here on the Magician or the Indigo card in this deck, which is also upright with the Star upright and the Destiny card upright, the Wheel of Fortune. The underlying energies over there you see are change and relationship change, okay? And then here's the cards that were pulled of spirituality and synchronicities, which are both purple, third eye, and teal. There's also blue there, so it's all about third eye and the throat. So the masculine speaking his truth, speaking up, and using his abilities. And here we're going to pull some cards for you. Let me pull from the Kipper deck first. And this read was unusual too, because I usually have some clarifiers in my mini deck left by the time I get to the end of the read, and I had none today, which is very unusual. It's like it needed no clarification. We had the Magician, the Star, and the Wheel of Fortune. Like, that's such a power pack cluster right there. Okay. There's definitely a house here, and that can represent the union. Okay, there's a gate of the portal that you just went through. And also the 4 of Wands, you see you have the gate posts here, and then the posts back here are kind of mimicking the 4 of Wands there, energy. And then we have the mature woman and the wealthy man. Okay. We do have the imprisonment here, but I was getting happily imprisoned together. But this could also reference somebody going to jail. Okay. But I'm getting more of the two happily imprisoned together. This could also reference this house as being a money trap. So somebody could be imprisoned by the house that they're in because they can't sell it, and it costs them a ton of money. All right, but then we have a privileged lady here coming up as well. So that could be the daughter of, maybe the mother's wants to sell her daughter off to the wealthy man so she can get money to keep this house. That wouldn't be a nice such scenario, but all right, so you might want to feel bad for the privileged girl there if her mother is kind of forcing her to marry this wealthy man so that she can keep the house that they're in. The underlying energy is an official person, the main male, and the courthouse. There's definitely some official things going on with that house or within a relationship. And there's definitely a mother and possibly her daughter involved. And there's some despair definitely going on with the masculine energy here, because you see this is all masculine. And that could also be someone, this could be the masculine, someone that he knows or deals with, who's an official capacity, okay? And then here, besides the wealthy man, you know, it's all about the feminine energy here. But someone could be trying to manipulate them, or is helping them get off the hook. But there's just some, you know, shady energy right there with what the masculine may be dealing with. I'm going to go to the Nature's Whispers cards. So take a deep breath, everyone. Again, it's February 1st, 2020. February 1st, 2020, for the best and highest good of all those concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? And let's clear all negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned. And fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's see what we have for you guys. Hold on, they're falling all over the place. Okay, this is what we have for you. Breakthrough, perfect. Number 8, doing the dance and breaking through. And I love this color too. It's very lilac-y or towards the lavender end. It's kind of like a rose pink with a touch of purple in it. So the bottom of the deck is Make a Wish. Perfect. The underlying energy was Make a Wish, and the 1 of the Magician Embodiment. And then we got the Breakthrough. And you look at the colors on these 2 cards. They're like perfect together. Okay. This one's just a slightly bit more pink than this is more purple. So it's definitely making a wish. It's like the feminine energy, and it can be either one, but the feminine energy within both, like becoming one with Gaia, like she is part of nature. You know, it's her birthright to be part of nature. That's the underlying energy, is recognizing your birthright as magical, just like Gaia. And then the breakthrough is realizing that, right? That you can rise above all traumas. See, there's a lot of turbulence there and craziness in the ocean waves. She doesn't have to sit in it. She can rise above it and float right above it with the butterflies. Right? You can choose to feel it, or you can choose to rise above it and walk on water. That's the message here. So when we talk about not avoiding the pain but going through it, it's not about resistance and forcing your way through something. It's allowing yourself, like, so if the wind blows, it stops your body from going forward, right? So instead of pushing through to walk through that wind that's resisting, you just allow the wind to hold you up at that point until it allows you to go again. You go with the flow. So that's what it means by going through the energy. Don't try to block it, but don't force your way through it either, because both are going to cause pain. By not challenging the resistance and just going with the flow, you know, you walk above the pain, basically. Okay. So let's see what else we have for you. So the animals, let's see what animal we have today. All right, so let's see what animal wants to come up for us today. February 1st. What was the point of this beautiful read? 3 cards came right out, so I got to take them because they were very slick. All right. 4 of Autumn is the bottom of the deck. The underlying energy is the squirrel gathering your nuts. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building walls that keep people out. Okay, that's a really good message. All right, so don't, you know, so like we always talk about, staying to the middle, or being moderate in everything, being balanced. Okay, so the 3 cards that came out together in one little slide, and again, I love the cards together because it's very much giving off that French blue kind of energy between the 2 of them. So we have there the World, which is 21, the Shetland Sheepdog, And congratulations on success accomplishing what you set out to do. You've made it through the challenges and incorporated the lessons life offered you with grace and courage. Yay, that's like, you know, you're getting a graduation present. That's so cute. Aww. And she's so cute. Oh, look, she's got an infinity dog collar too there. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see it there. Okay, the second card is the King of Winter, the humpback whale, and it's 55. Intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert you can find. All right? So it's not about, and it was just 55, 44. It's not about being fake when you're professional. It's about being your true higher self, which knows that emotions only get in the way of communications, right? You want to express your feelings, not your thoughts, but you want to express your feelings from an intelligent perspective without too much story behind it, okay? So that's the humpback whale coming up in regards to that. And that's the blue, which is more about the throat chakra. And then we go back up to the third eye again in the chariot. The Arabian horse. You can successfully balance various or opposing energies in once through determination and focus. You can successfully balance various or opposing energies at once through determination and focus. You've earned the rewards and recognition you're receiving. So again, it's saying just what I explained, to not resist the energies, but go with the flow. Even when they're resisting you, you just, you know, feel your way into it. But again, you're receiving rewards and recognition of a job well done. And there's the chariot with the 2 horses in it. Okay. So we have the 21 and the 7. So this is complete. There's no number in the humpback whale, right? Like the humpback whale is the king. He's succeeded, and here it's like this is the masculine energy, and then these two are the feminine energies. But we have completion in the chariot. Like we've made it to each other. It's the dog and the whale. The dog being very loyal, right, and faithful. And the whale being more powerful and in charge. And as 2 ascending together. Okay, that's really beautiful. So I don't think I want to pull another one. Do I want to? Maybe just a quick one from the energy deck. Okay, from my energy deck. This is energy oracle cards. And that came right out. Number 22, the yin and yang, and the 22, of course, is the Fool, which we've been talking about this whole read about the Fool's journey. And the yin and the yang being perfectly balanced, right? When you have an odd number, it can't stay that way. It's not stable. It has to become the even energy again. Okay. So again, it's reiterating what we explained already. And then we have 28 of victory, which is again the twin flames, the Fool and the Fool's journey leading to the 2 flames, the twin flames and victory, which I, you know, with the Ace of Swords, I don't always use the word victory, and I did today. Well, for triumph, actually for the 6 of, I was thinking that, maybe I said triumph, but either way, the 6 of Pentacles was upright with the victory, along with the Ace of Swords being upright, and the masculine coming forward with his truth and victory. So this is just perfect energy. And again, the crown given, his crown of thorns given to the divine feminine. And I was just getting now that that's what roses are, is Jesus's gift to Mary Magdalene. right? The thorn, the crown of thorns is something that's nickel made into gold, right? Okay, so make sure you drink your water, get your rest, your joy in your nature, and rise and be loved, guys. Bye.